Okay, welcome back to the second edition of the John Key interview. And this one, I guess there's one thing to look out for, and it was a really interesting question I thought was when Stephen asked John Key, how do you handle your time? Obviously he works a lot of hours. He said he goes to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, he's up at 6 o'clock the next day, stuff like that. So you think you're busy, you're probably not as busy as John Key, so check out how he does it. And is Copenhagen fit in that thing where it's sort of probably, I don't know, do you want to go? Or the pressure, because it's outside pressure?
Yeah, I mean, look, because it's the end of the year and I've been travelling a lot and I'm going for 48 hours, truthfully, it would be better if I didn't have to go because it's a long way. Yeah. But, I realise I have to go, and the position changed. I mean, early on there was never going to be a big leaders meeting and it was always about the ministers and officials, but it became the politicians are probably the only ones that can get it there. And from New Zealand's point of view, it's actually important, and it's important that we're in the room and we're represented and that we can put our case. So I'm more than happy to go, but it's a long way to go for a bacon sandwich.
It's a good bacon sandwich though.
Yeah, it will be. Top of the range bacon sandwich.
Mentors, advisors on the way right through, people around you that you've relied on, had the opportunity to meet and use.
Yeah, there's a range of them actually.
And
so
still use?
Yeah, so in politics, someone like Jim McClay, who is now our ambassador basically in the United Nations, he's a great guy because he's been here, so he's Deputy Prime Minister, he knows all the, he's hardcore national, so he knows about our organisation and our party, he's been here a long time. He's a really sane individual, he's been out of it a long time. So he's got a good sense of what's happening in the kind of wider community, and his judgment's good. So it's quite useful having that. Then there are other sort of kind of young business guys like a Mark Weldon or a Rob Fife that I'll just talk to, and that's just because I think again they have a different perspective, but I think they have a modern perspective on New Zealand. So I find that quite interesting. My wife, who is very much not overly political.
Great answer. Very smart answer.
Yeah, she's not overly political. No, she's not a big activist. She's a good lady. She knows what's going on, and she's the woman in the street, I always say. So she has a bit of a sense of what people are thinking, and it's not that we can't make our own decisions. It's just that this is an iterative process. You're always sort of kind of refining things and getting a sense of what's important.
Just on family, managing time. I guess one of the demands now with your time is huge. Managing the time with your family. Which is very important. That comes through loud and clear. Yeah. A challenge. You've got the balance.
That's a big challenge. So with Brona, she's used to me travelling quite a lot, and even if I'm away, she's become accustomed to it for years of being an investment banker. And she'll come with me sometimes, which is quite good. For the kids, it's much harder. Max is 14, so he's at King's College. So he's in pretty much it's not an all-boys school, but 6 and 7 schools. But so it's quite a tough environment when he's one of the shortest kids in school. So
pretty sure he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. No, he's doing really well. He's a great kid. But so for him and Steffi, who's 16, they notice it when I'm away a lot more. And in recent months, where I've been really away a lot because I've either been overseas or literally in Wellington. They've seen very little of me, so I try and engage them in things. So Max is mad keen on sport, and Steffi's not interested in the slightest. So I'll take Max things. I took him to the Pakistan, New Zealand Day game, and he had a great time because there was a bunch of other kids there. He went out on the pitch. They had whacked a few balls around. He will come with me to All Black games or stuff like that. So he's interested in that. But for Steffi, there's other things. She's very interested in fashion, so we'll take her to WOW or we'll take her to other stuff. We quarantine time off to have dinner. We as a family kind of might eat and go to the movies. Is something that we can generally all four of us agree we want to do. So we do that. And the only hard thing is because you're in the public eye, and you guys would know all about this. I mean, the people are always going to want to come up and talk to you, and there's got to be some time where it's their time, and so that can be a bit challenging. So, but we try and go to quiet restaurants where we can sit in the corner on our own.
That's great.
And spend some time with them. Yeah.
I've got one, John. Scariest moments, because there must be some situations where you're sitting there, same as sport or anything, where you're thinking, oh no. And I was wondering about
falling off the stage and breaking my arm was right up there.
Right.
And then having to shake Petrie's farmer Wiener's hand with a broken arm was no mean feat.
Right. And I was wondering about Letterman, how scary that was, and I was wondering about maybe that debate you had with Helen Clark when you were sort of opposition. The first one, and I was feeling nervous for you because I thought she would have done it.
This could go to custard.
Well, it's you're on the line and you haven't done a million, and she has, and you're thinking,
Yeah.
Right. So scary moments. What have been the big ones, and how do you cope?
Yeah. Well, Letterman was a bit scary. Scary in two fronts. We did the stock exchange ringing of the bell.
Right.
We had 45 minutes to get from Midtown, from downtown to Midtown. Tell you what, there's no guarantee you're going to make it. So they were worried I was even going to turn up. And to a certain degree, it's a very scripted environment in there. Everything, Dave does things the way he's always done them for 20 years. So. I guess the concept of going out and thinking, not so much that there were 4 million people watching, because actually ringing the bell, 120 million people watch, believe it or not. But how bad can it go with a bell? But with Dave, it's a bit more challenging.
Especially when you're using their script.
You're using their script. So we knew some things, New Zealanders go, that's not funny, because it wasn't written for their audience. But that was alright. But I think actually, and you can't do outtakes, so you're there.
Oh, right.
But they were really happy with me. Their producers and Dave wrote to me actually and said, we weren't sure because you just never know with politicians, but it worked really well. They were really happy with it. So, but yeah, it was a little bit scary. The first debate with Clark, look, I remember going and having a shower before I went down to it. We did some prep in the afternoon, and we'd been prepping for basically about 9 months, so I felt good about it. But I remember going home and having a shower and coming downstairs, and Max came up to me and said, you'll be fine. Yeah. And I thought, I'll be fine. I know what to do. So, but that sort of 20 minutes before you go on, you're thinking, oh God, just get it over with and start rolling the cameras. Once you get there, you'll be fine. But now it would be different. I just do so much stuff on TV, and I think actually a lot of it was National Party supporters who so desperately wanted us to win, just wanted me to do well, and you can see. As you saw in Mount Albert where it went wrong, it's like a sports thing. When it goes wrong, you can't pull it back. It actually generally gets worse rather than gets better. And there was always that risk. And I remember a couple of the really highly respected political journalists around here, like John Armstrong, who I think is one of the best, him saying to me, well, in the white heat of the campaign, anything could happen, John. And he wasn't meaning it to intimidate me. It's just he'd seen it before. It happens. People have meltdowns. But it didn't happen. So
I noticed there's a lot of interjecting in those. It's like it's one thing to know your content. But when you've got Helen Clark constantly chipping in so that you can't even get your point out, it must be like, I've got a good point, and you started doing it back to her. So that
she didn't like that.
No, she didn't.
She did not like that. No.
Would you mind not interrupting me?
Sorry, okay. I'll do my best for you. So Stephen's sitting here very quietly.
That's so good.
He's enjoying it.
But I thought, it's almost like pulling people down so they haven't got a chance to make their point, even though you know the answers. It's game playing, isn't it?
And I tell you what's interesting about, I think, of those debates is that you're debating the person that's there, that's important, and whoever's doing the interview, that's obviously important. But actually, it's the person at home that you're talking to. Yes. They're the voter. Yeah. In the end, we know how Helen Clark was voting. We know how I was voting. God knows how Mark Sainsbury was voting. But it's the people at home, and I think it's trying to connect things in their language. And a lot of stuff, look, you can't prep for what does it mean to be wealthy, or we'd never thought of any of those questions. It just came along. Others you can sort of give a bit of a sense. But like I said to you, if you try and be someone you're not, you'll look like a fraud and it'll never work. You're much better to say this is what I think. And sometimes it gets me in trouble. I crack jokes of things and sometimes it gets me in trouble. But I figure, look, okay, life's too short. Enjoy yourself.
Thanks for watching that latest interview on leadership and performance. Hope you really enjoyed it. If you want to receive notification every time we produce a new one, giving you new content on leadership and tips on performance, then there's a couple of things you can do. You can go to the website www.digitalpublications.co.nz, or you can go to the front page of the ebook that you've got this interview in, and it says refer a friend, and you can either click on that button and send it to a friend, or you can send it to yourself, and you'll get an email link which will take you straight to the sign up page to receive more of these. And then you'll just get, every time a new one comes out, you'll be sent a little email telling you, hey, click on the button and you can get your latest email on leadership and performance. So do that now, and thanks for listening.